So this video is for you if you're worried about AI replacing your job or your current business. This is a hot topic that so many people are talking about. I feel like I get different emails, messages from people with these, sometimes sensationalized articles from X and Substack and all these places talking about the wave that's coming and all of the negativity around what AI is going to do for jobs and the moats around businesses that are just being collapsed because of this ever-changing landscape. Okay. In this video, I want to talk to you about the model that I've dialed in for myself, seeing this coming. And then towards the end of the video, I also want to talk about maybe why it's not quite as bad as a lot of people are making out to be. Okay. So first things first, where we are going, I think it's going to present some challenges and it's going to present some shifts. I think if your entire job or your entire business is built off the back of any level of repetitive kind of computer-based tasks, you are definitely going to feel it in some way, shape, or form because it can simply be done faster, more effectively, and this is gonna ripple through to big businesses. Like I look at the consulting work that I used to do in New York, where we were charging millions of dollars to clients for slide presentations and financial modeling. All that stuff is going to get massively disrupted. I think dependence on one income stream, with the cost of living around the world increasing and the vulnerability of any single income stream with the rapid changing of technology, I think that is going to be a real risk, and you're going to need to explore diversification of income streams. I think in business, what may have been a moat before, or maybe you had a 12-month, 24-month, even 3-year head start on other people, has been and will continue to be aggressively collapsed. Businesses that previously used to trade at really high premiums, if they have a connection to number of staff, right? If you think about software businesses where they make money based on the number of people that use the software, these businesses that have links to employee numbers that are going to be impacted by this shift. I think we're going to feel it in a lot of different ways. I think we're going to see a shift from the specialist more to the generalist, because with a lot of specializations, and this isn't for all of them, but with a lot of specializations, you get the repetition of a very refined task and a very refined process that can rapidly be replaced. Whereas someone who is more general, someone who can marshal resources, someone who can see the big picture, someone who can lead people and can integrate people with technology, someone with the mental bandwidth and the mental clarity to be really creative, to identify problems in markets and then reverse engineer a very clear, efficient, direct path to bring it to light. I think they're the people that are really going to thrive. And so all of these things are evolving and changing. And I've been thinking about this a lot. I've also got 2 young boys who are, they're really young at the moment. They're under 3, but this is the world that they're heading into. And so I want to be really in tune with it in terms of what I teach them. What type of education path do they go down? What do I say to them? My partner and I have stopped saying that dad is going to work, and we start saying dad is building, because we think that is going to be a big part. We think this is going to be an era of builders, people who are combining people and resources, and it's not about how many hours you work, but about what's the vision. Can you create that vision, and then bringing the people and the resources together to bring it to life? So there's some of the thoughts that are bubbling around for me on this, and what this is really created for me, which is a core topic of this channel, is what I call the quiet empire model. And I think this is a model that pretty much anybody can deploy that solves a lot of those problems, right? And obviously it's going to need to be fluid, and it's going to need to evolve, but it solves a lot of these problems. And I'll put a video below that's a half an hour deep dive into this model, but I'll give you the highlights of it. It's got multiple income streams. So you've got the diversification, which gives you the hedge against the risk of income concentration. It's got space and capacity to allow you to pursue creativity, to pursue what you're passionate about, to pursue your interests. It's got compounding and a flywheel built into it, such that when one part of it gets stronger and when one part of it runs for longer and more efficiently, all of the other parts improve as well. And it's got a brand component layered in as well, which means that you can share your journey with people that you're doing across these other areas of the business, and that's going to further fuel it. Okay. And so really what this quiet empire model comes down to is 4 core moving parts. The first one is this is an automated or semi-automated online business that draws on your current knowledge base, experience base, skill set. Okay, so for every one of us, if we could pause time for a moment, we've got experience from the work that we've done, the businesses that we've run, that puts us in a unique position to help other people, assuming you've done, something meaningful. So when I look at my background, I was an accountant by trade, then I went into investment banking. I've got private equity experience, and I've made millions of dollars online learning the art and science of marketing. And so I've got a business called Caris Digital, and in there I bring together all of that experience to help my clients. Right now, we integrate AI into that process because you have to, from a speed and to meet what the market wants right now. But essentially, that's set up in a way using what I call the lifestyle business operating system, where there's ads running all the time, there's emails going out every day, there's YouTube videos that are spending time with people at scale, and then we have a core offering that really brings together the culmination of all my work and all my experience inside an academy, and it's $2,000. And so that's a automated or semi-automated online business that utilizes all of my experience. As I learn and do new things, I can then put it back into that container, and it can get better and better and more valuable. So that is the first part. And anybody can create that because we've all got unique experiences. You might have a background in fitness. You might have a background in health. You might have a background in some area of finance, in relationships, whatever. There's a way that you can bring it together and put an operating system in place that gets your name out there, which is a key part of it, that nurtures people, converts them into customers, and converts them into clients. And so what this arm of the business does is it achieves 2 things. One, it gets your name out there constantly, which is building more and more connections, more and more relationships, which in the world that we're heading into are going to be at even more of a premium. And then 2, in doing that, it's growing a list, which is an asset. It's ascending customers, it's generating repeat customers, and it's ascending people to become clients. So what this really is it is a container that makes you money, that gets your brand out there, and it brings you really interesting people who are aligned to your experience. And then you can go, how much further could we take this? Pretty much every day I wake up to people filling out a 30 question form when they start working with me inside that arm of the business. And I can look at each one of them and be like, is there an opportunity where we could work together more closely, right? That could be one-to-one consulting. That could be revenue share. That could be a partnership. It could even be me going, introducing them to a colleague that I have in the industry that can help them more. But it's essentially a machine that runs and is a deal container, right? Is an opportunity container, is a relationship builder, and it just taps into whatever experience that you have. Okay, I'll link below something called the Lifestyle Business Playbook, and that's where I walk through that whole model. I'll put that below. The second part is with that running, you want to create space to be able to work on different projects and explore your curiosities and your passions. Okay, inside my business, I call this Caris Capital. So this is what essentially a sandbox where I partner with different people, where I do some consulting work. I've got revenue share deals that are in different capacities. But below the surface, what this is achieving, and bringing this back to the core point that we started with, this is achieving diversification. This is allowing me to explore areas and interests that I'm really passionate about, to explore curiosities. It's allowing me to get exposure to different industries without me needing to go and fully launch a business through, a partnership model. And who knows, one of those projects that I'm working on in that arm of the business, I think there's 8 in there at the moment, that could become, a significant part. It could go and potentially replace the, existing core business. Who knows? But in these times of uncertainty, we want that diversification. And because we've got so much more leverage now with our time, if we use AI, we've got the capacity to take on these different projects. And so you want the time, the space, and the margin in order to be able to go and explore these things. And that's why having the automated or semi-automated expert business set up is a really, really core part. And with it bringing you in people and building relationships, it essentially means that you've got something set up, filling up this container with interesting conversation, interesting people. All of the projects that I have in there, or 7 out of the 8, have come via that exact flow. And so I think you want to give yourself the space and the margin to go and explore and work on different projects and partner with people and do consulting if that fits in with your model, because you just never know where that is going to lead. And with the uncertainty that is being experienced from AI, also in the economy as well, that diversification and exposure to different markets, I think, is a really, really important thing. Then the third component is you want to take the cash flow, you want to take the connections, you want to take the experience, and you want to put that into offline assets, offline investments. And so I have an arm of my business called Caris Investments. And this is where all of this ultimately flows towards, right? So these are your more traditional investments, be it real estate, be it stocks. I've recently started doing some options trading, which not I wouldn't classify it as investing, but it's where I do it. And so again, this creates additional income streams, cash flow streams as a result of everything else that you're doing. So you can see one thing stacks into another. It allows you to build long-term optionality, right? Because you're building up that nest egg. Again, with the uncertainty and kind of who knows where this is all going, you've got a nest egg. If things slow down, if certain projects don't play out the way that you want them to, you've got that foundation. And so that's where ultimately all of this leads. And so they're the 3 parts of the business to the model. And then the fourth component, and this is optional, but I highly, highly recommend it if you've got any level of kind of desire to share and to document, is building a personal brand, right? It's doing what I'm doing now, which is creating content where you talk about what you find interesting, and then you slowly start to accumulate your people who are building something similar, who are interested in similar things. And you don't have to box yourself in. I have a hypothesis which I'll do a video on, which is where I think this whole creator economy is shifting. I think it's shifting from people who think and just talk to people who are actually doing and building and documenting. And this model allows you to really get ahead of that in terms of you set up those arms of the business, and then you can simply document and share the ride. And in doing that, it gets you more exposure, it builds you more relationships, more connections that then can feed back into those other 3 areas of the business, be that investment opportunities, be that partnerships and consulting opportunities, or be that customers and clients for your core expert business. So that's the model in a nutshell. And I think in so many ways it solves, or at least provides an outlet for a lot of the challenges and uncertainty that people are facing right now. I said off the top, I'd also wanted to quickly talk about why I think it's probably not quite as scary as people are making out to be. And this can be a full topic for another video. But whenever there's a big shift in any market, and obviously AI is going to be one of the more significant, if not the most significant that we've seen, there's always the obvious stuff that comes up. It's, like I know a lot of copywriters, and when they see, every month the copywriting that AI can produce versus how much time it used to take a copywriter in order to do it, that's like visceral and real and scary. But what quite often takes more time in any of these shifts, and you can go back through history and find examples of this again and again and again, is with this shifting, with this change, it always gives rise to new industries, new opportunities, right? The economy, to use that term, which can be hard to visualize, but it's expanding, right? It's not like because that copywriter now can't do that thing, there's nothing else for them to do and they're just reduced to irrelevancy. The rise of that technology And then all of the different things that come off it is more than likely going to unlock 5 times, 10 times more opportunity than just the copywriting task did on its own. And then the things that gives birth to will give more things will be born out of it. And so it expands and so it grows. And all that is to say, don't get down in the dumps about it. There's always opportunity. It's just that the newer opportunity, the bigger opportunities, the second, third, fourth order opportunities that come off the back of this follow and might be a little bit quieter, or you might have to go do a little bit more digging than the obvious, terrifying, like, holy shit, I'm being replaced that we see every day. It's also what people are most noisy about. It's the articles that get the most clicks. It's the, fear is such a powerful motivator. I'm a marketer. I know that better than most. Fear is such a powerful motivator that it's going to be used, and it's going to be used again and again and again because it gets clicks, it gets attention. And it's a big part of the economy that we play in online. Stay calm. Think about what's going to be of value in this new economy. What is going to be eliminated? Look at your skill sets, look at your passions, look at your interests, and then build a model. Take parts of what I've just spoken about. Go watch the deep dive video below, but build a model that ticks those boxes. Build a model that gives you the space to be curious, the space to explore what you're passionate about, to tap into your knowledge and experience using AI and leverage and media and code to automate a lot of it so that it's working for you and you're not fighting it. Use the power of media and YouTube and ads to be able to get your name out there so that you're building relationships 24/7 at scale. Pretty much every day I wake up to new emails from people who've seen a video, they've seen an ad, they've come through one of my funnels, they've got interesting projects and they're interesting people. And all it takes is one connection with the right person that can change your life forever. But that can't happen if you don't have a model and a framework and you aren't putting yourself out there and sharing the ride and documenting what you're doing and experimenting and being the mad scientist and doing all these things and sharing the journey with the world. Okay. I wanted to put this on the record today because I feel like I've seen, particularly at the start of 2026, this big spark and fear around replacement of jobs and irrelevancy at the hands of AI and business moats getting smashed, and all of that stuff is going to happen. But there's this entire other side to it. There's this massive opportunity that's forming in the background. And if you've got a model, whether you use part of what I've spoken about, whether you use none of it, and it simply just prompts you to go and build something, you can be really, really well placed to capitalize it. You can either look at this from a fear perspective or you can look at it from an opportunity perspective. And only one of them is really, really going to help you succeed in the long term. Okay. Appreciate you hanging out with me in this video. Go watch the full deep dive on the Quiet Empire video below. I'll put some other links and resources below that you can check out as well. But I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.